out alone in a city like Delhi at 2 o'clock at night? Do you do that? Would you do that?
I do that. Often? I take Uber often. I took Ubers late at night. I do that. I take my own precautions, which I do for safety. I'll call a girlfriend. I'll be on the phone. I have pepper spray in my bag. I do take precautions, yes, but I also
ideally
know.
you should have to take that
But I
precaution.
also know. One second. But I also know
That's
that if
also
something.
apologist. That's also
I do
apologist.
also know if something happened to me, the state would be responsible.
No,
One second.
we are not disputing that state is not responsible.
But you're saying that you are ultimately responsible for your
No,
safety.
we are not saying
That's
that.
what
We are
arguing,
not
right?
saying that. We are saying we have to safeguard ourselves. We have to take calculated moves. When we move out at night, we have to be careful about the fact where we are heading to, with whom we are going, or what all we are doing. We have to take calculated measures. That's all we are saying.
But
Should we stand and
No, but should that stop me from going out and saying
no,
I would
not
still
at all. You should. You're a free person. We are not.
Okay, we're gonna have to
It's
go
just
one by one.
Sorry, and I'm sorry for butting in. I'm just saying just to clarify so that we're not going off track. We are not, the basis of this argument is not you're ultimately responsible for your safety. That's not the basis of this argument.
At all.
The basis of this argument is since currently the state has failed to provide a safe state, since for both men and women, for women much more, given that currently the state has failed, currently you've got to be careful. We're not saying ultimately you're responsible. Ultimately the state should provide a safe city. Ultimately you should be able to step
I
out.
feel like this is such a dangerous argument to make because we're like one step short of the ML Sharma argument. It's like saying that, you know what he said, like if the girl's like a diamond, she's like a flower, put her out in the street, someone's gonna pluck her. We're literally one step away from saying that. You'll ultimately say I do go out in the streets. I've written about it in the Pink piece that I was sexually harassed. I was at a party, I was drunk, I didn't know who harassed me and I woke up. I will not stop going to parties. I do not blame myself. I will never blame myself. I don't know. So my point is that nothing should stop you. We can't capitulate to that argument that this might happen and hence let's sort of cage ourselves in. Why aren't we talking about the men? Ritu ma'am, you mentioned your daughter. Raghav sir mentioned his daughter. We're not talking about the son. So that's what I'm saying. One way to normalize this is simply by talking about both individual safety. Let's talk about it as individual safety, not simply women's safety, men's safety, why one should be safer over the other. Let's actually try to normalize this.
And that nobody is talking about women's safety. We are talking about individual safety. It's not.
Do you think to some extent it's finding a middle ground? Okay, go for it.
Okay, so I have a couple of points to make. The way we think about male violence against women is so ingrained that it's completely different from the way we think about anything else. Like, for example, would we have a Facebook Live about saying where one side says, oh, in this environment of Gaurakshaks, Muslims should be more careful about what meat they eat and where they eat it and being near cows? Would we ever make this argument? No, we would not.
Poonam, I'll come to you.
I don't think anyone on this panel would ever make that argument, and we wouldn't have a Facebook Live about it. And the second point is that what is the intention when these men go around throwing acid in women's faces, harassing women out at night? What is their intention? To stop women doing that. The intention is to cloister them in their homes. The intention is to make them scared when they go out. So telling other women to do that is helping them. And especially when women who do this anyway, knowing the dangers, whether consciously or unconsciously, what they're participating in is a pushback against this culture.
It's not just a question of women being raped. There have been reports where men have been raped as well, sodomized as well. If you see anybody, I have never found any man walking down the Gurgaon street late night, because they also fear of being picked up in the car, being sodomized, and they cannot even report anywhere. So it's not a question of any one particular gender. It's a question of your own safety. You have to think before you do something.
That is exactly
State is certainly responsible for your safety, but remember, if something happens to you, PCR will take 1 hour to reach. By then the damage is done.
This is exactly why I use the Gaurakshak example, because that is not a gender thing. That, like this, is a bigotry thing. That is the difference. It's not just an opportunistic crime. This is culturally sanctioned bigotry that is legitimized in the entirety of this country. That is the pushback. That is what we're pushing back against.
See, my sense of these things is that when I move around in these spaces, is that you read the land, you move with the land. I get that, but I also know that I'm never going to, at any point, question whether I have the right to be where I am at a particular time. And I think that's a certain privilege that I, as a man, have. That when I move into a space,
Right.
I do not have to think as hard as, for example, for example, as my sister is expected to.
No,
do,
we were
right?
talking about gender, right? I'll explain this very easily. I come from the northeast, so does my brother. My brother was, dragged on in school for being from the northeast. He doesn't like to travel by the metro. He likes to take a cab. My mom makes sure he leaves by 9 o'clock. It's also a race thing. So it's not a so my mother will make sure I leave by 9. She will also make sure my brother leaves by 9. She will make sure she calls when he reaches. It's both of us have the same rules in the house, because not only have we dealt with everything that goes on, we've also had to deal with racism, right? So it's not a gender thing, it's a safety thing. My mother will make sure her daughter leaves at 9 and calls her when she reaches. My mother will make sure her son leaves at 9, because it's not about just being a girl or a boy, it's about just being safe.